Mercedes underperformed in 2022, and Red Bull and Max Verstappen dethroned them. In today's video, we're looking at how they can retrieve the championships they've been unable to contest this year. As things are standing right now, it looks like Mercedes will be the one to watch for next season. They are the only top team to have remained calm and collected under the pressure of last season. Red Bull lost their team balance near the end of the season, and Ferrari lost their team boss. It looks like Mercedes is all set to return to top form in 2023. Let's dive into why Mercedes will be back at their best next season. But first, what's your opinion on Mercedes' chances for next year? Leave a comment right now before watching the video and respond to it with your updated opinion after watching the video. We'd love to read your thoughts about Mercedes. So Mercedes' Formula 1 season in 2022 was strikingly comparable to Ferrari's in 2005. Both teams had just finished an unprecedented run of success, with rule changes adopted in both seasons to spice things up. Though it should be noted that the 2005 alterations were tweaks rather than all-out revolution of this year. Both teams would only win one race and finish third in the Constructors as the others fought for the titles. In reaction to their disastrous year in 2005, Ferrari resurfaced in 2006 to battle Renault and Fernando Alonso. Mercedes is also well equipped to do so in 2023, with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell having all the elements they need to derail Max Verstappen's bid to become only the sixth driver to win 3 consecutive Drivers' Championships. Red Bull will have to deal with their penalty, whilst Mercedes' understanding of the new rules and their car has improved over the last year. Red Bull's main issue heading into the new season is a development penalty they will have to work with. As a penalty for exceeding the cost cap in 2022, the team's wind tunnel and CFD allowance were reduced. As Constructors' champions, Red Bull were already set for a reduced amount of development time under the new sliding scale, with a 10% penalty giving both Mercedes and Ferrari a greater advantage over Christian Horner's Milton Keynes team. They'll be given only 63% of the simulations, whereas Mercedes will have a 17% edge with 80% of the allocation. Ferrari will have 75% of the allocation for finishing second in the Constructors' Championship. This is a big development chunk in Mercedes' favour, which means Red Bull and technical chief Adrian Newey must avoid wasting any more of their precious allocation on difficulties that may surface. Meanwhile, Ferrari have to get up to speed under the guidance of a new team boss, whilst losing their biggest technical engineer, Mattia Binotto. Another worry for Red Bull and Ferrari is that Mercedes will not be as far behind as they were in 2022. Following their first issues with the W13, the team eventually uncovered a fundamental design problem in the car, relating to the floor design, something that was fixed in the car design back in October 2021. The aerodynamic porpoising hid this defect until it was far too late to correct in season, but Mercedes was well aware of the issue and how it needed to be addressed. Their US Grand Prix improvement package worked well and provides the team with a solid foundation for the W14, with Toto Wolff admitting that the team had already changed idea mid-season after ruling out 2022. One thing Mercedes can be proud of is its excellent reliability. Because if there was a single crack in the Red Bull armour in 2022, it was the team's early reliability issues. And this counts for Ferrari as well, with their lack of engine reliability during the season. Verstappen and Sergio Perez both retired in the final laps of the Bahrain opener, while the world champion also retired from round 3 in Australia. Perez would also take an early exit in Canada, while Mercedes were nearly bulletproof throughout the season, with only one mechanical DNF. That happened for Hamilton in the Abu Dhabi finale, when his hydraulics failed on lap 55 of 58, thereby ending his worst season. Ferrari, on the other hand, experienced repeated breakdowns at critical periods throughout the early and mid-season, and were obliged to turn down their power units to prevent them from failing in the last races of the season. If Mercedes can improve in this area, it is to milk out more performance from their product while maintaining their great reliability record. Next to Mercedes' incredible reliability, we also have the motivating element, where Mercedes clearly have the upper hand opposed to the other teams. The Red Bull driver chemistry had been friendly up until Brazil, but after Verstappen refused to allow Perez by to aid his ultimately unsuccessful pursuit for P2 in the Drivers' Championship, relations were strained to say the least. It arises from Verstappen's opinion that Perez intentionally wrecked in Monaco qualifying to deprive the former a shot at pole, something Perez vehemently rejected when asked. While Verstappen is firmly established as the number 1 driver and will not be challenged by Perez at Red Bull, The situation is different at Mercedes. Hamilton and Russell have a strong master and apprentice relationship, with one passing on all of his expertise and experience to the man who will lead the Silver Arrows into the second part of the decade. Russell, on the other hand, is far from subservient to Hamilton, having taken Mercedes' sole pole position in Hungary and win in Brazil this season. However, the drivers' relationship is different, with the drivers clearly open to team commands if the circumstances call for it. Given Ferrari's current state as it starts on yet another rebuild under new manager Frederic Vasseur, Mercedes is best positioned to challenge Verstappen and Red Bull in 2023. And considering Hamilton's desire to reclaim the 8th title he lost at the death in 2021, another Hamilton versus Verstappen duel, with some Russell thrown in, is an exciting prospect. There will be a lot of fierce battles on the track next year between the teammates of Red Bull and Ferrari, whilst Mercedes is on top of this. Mercedes will make sure to have Russell and Hamilton work together to get the best possible result during race weekends. Next to their team chemistry, Mercedes has a lot of time over the winter to introduce a lot of updates and make sure that the W14 comes flying out of the box. By the time you've got to the end of the season, you've raced across a whole range of circuits. You should have pretty much understood all the issues, Chauvelin addressed in the Mercedes season debrief. He adds that while the team was still dealing with issues that rendered the W13 less competitive on some circuits, team members were no longer astonished by new issues and could predict them at some point. Mercedes has been working hard in recent months to guarantee that the W13's faults are not passed on to the W14 for 2023. We've made good progress there. Now you can see that in some of the later updates, particularly the update we brought to Austin, just put us that bit closer to the front, Chauvelin notes. Although they have been working all year on updates, one has already been banned for the coming season. The FIA has banned Mercedes' front wing design for the upcoming 2023 Formula 1 season. The wing, which was not raced, was a part of an upgrade package carried to the United States Grand Prix by the team as they sought to solve problems with the W13 machine. With new slot gap separators, it was hypothesized that it may improve aerodynamic performance by outwashing air. While slot gap generators were permitted, they had to be used for mechanical, structural, or measurement purposes, with the FIA strengthening the restrictions in this area to minimize uncertainty. Mercedes was allowed to build the concept with FIA support, as obsolete wording in the technical regulations simply stated that the slot gap generators required to connect consecutive front-wing profiles. According to the new criteria, a structural connection between subsequent profiles is now necessary. To avoid rivals filing protests, the team ran the wing in practice in Mexico, but did not commit to running it in qualifying or a Grand Prix further in the season. And now the wing has officially been banned. Mercedes will have to find the right balance between innovative updates and keeping it between the lines to make sure that the FIA won't ban their updates. As said earlier in the video, Mercedes will be the team to watch in the upcoming season. They have the right driver pairing that will support each other and have the team to make them succeed again. Do you think Mercedes will be the ones to beat? Will 2023 be the year where we see Mercedes triumph on the big stage again? Let us know your updated thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done this already. We'll see you in the next one.